If somehow you become involved in a debate about the things the Torah teaches, your friends and your family will say concerning Shabbat, well, they changed it. Concerning feast days, well, we just do it for the children. But when it comes to what you eat, they will go so far as to say, that's been done away with. That no longer applies. This Barry Phillips a 10-minute Torah, day 5 of Shimini, or 8th, and we're going to the grand, glorious chapter of Leviticus, Vayikra, chapter number 11. Verse 1 says, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, These are the living creatures which you are to eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatever has a split hoof completely divided, chewing the cud, among the beasts, these you do eat. Only these you do not eat among those that chew the cud, or those that have a split hoof. The camel, because it chews the cud, but does not have a split hoof, it is unclean to you. The rabbit, because it chews the cud, but does not have a split hoof, it is unclean for you. And the hare, because it chews the cud, but does not have a split hoof, it is unclean for you. And the pig, though it has a split hoof, completely divided, yet does not chew the cud, it is unclean to you. Their flesh you do not eat, their carcasses you do not touch. They are unclean to you. I recall the days early on in the 2000-2001 era. Laura and I were preparing to go to Israel for our first trip. It was a very gracious, gifted trip for us. And I remember sitting at the table in our dining room here in this house, wondering what was I going to do? How was I going to find enough food to eat? Because I realized they don't eat the foods that I'm eating. No bacon for breakfast? What will I eat? Well, long story short, I found plenty of food to eat, probably gained more weight than anything lost on that trip. Over the years, there have been many debates that I've entered into, especially early on, where people were trying to teach me what the Word said pertaining to food. And I made all the classical arguments. It's been done away with. Nothing that you have received should be rejected. All of the dietary things I could think of. And someone asked me, where in the Word does it say that pig or any of these other animals, that they're food? I had to pause because I couldn't answer that question. Yah, here in Leviticus, Vayikra chapter 11, tells us what is acceptable as food for us. It doesn't say that the meat of these other animals couldn't be digested. It doesn't say that they're unchewable. It doesn't even say necessarily that they are physically poison, even though we realize that there are great problems in eating their flesh. What it says is they are unclean for us. Now, you can debate with people about a lot of things, but when you go to touch a man's food and try to encourage him along the lines of what is acceptable and not acceptable according to Scripture, folks can get quite upset, and especially in the area where Laura and I live. Here in the Tidewater area of Virginia, especially, there are a lot of dietary menus about crabs and oysters and shellfish, unclean fish. Some friends, neighbors, that they enjoy catfishing. Offering me, hey, you like catfish? Got some in the freezer? No, thank you. No, thank you. We have learned to eat what the Scriptures have said is clean food for us. But even in eating what Yah has permitted for us to enjoy, we sometimes forget that it's more than just what our taste buds have learned to accept. After all, most of us now smelling pork cooking, it's nauseous to us. Seafood in the store, grocery store, you walk by that area, and it's just, I have to get away from it as quickly as possible. It's not about, though, the appearance of something. It's not about the taste of something. After all, if you go back to the garden, Eve, was shown the fruit of the tree that was forbidden to them, and it says that she saw that the tree was good for food, and the fruit was pleasant to her eyes. It looked good. The tree was an appealing tree. It looked fine. But Yah said, no, don't eat it. Why? Because it's unclean for you. We have pursued, however, in the result of that eating, with our own knowledge of good and evil, and pursued our own dietary desires according to whatever we think is good to look at and pleasant for food. If we go over to the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter number 4, verse 1 and following says, for the rest then, brothers, we beg you and call upon you in the Master Yeshua, that as you have received from us how you should walk and to please Elohim, you should excel still more. For you know what commands we gave you through the Master Yeshua. For this is the desire of Elohim, your set-apartness, that you should abstain from whoring, that each of you should know how to possess his own vessel in set-apartness and respect, not in passion of lust like the nations who do not know Elohim, not to overstep and take advantage of his brother in this matter, because the Master is a revenger of all such, as we have indeed said to you before and earnestly warned. Yah is the avenger of those who violate this. Verse 7 and 8. For Elohim did not call us to uncleanness, but to set apartness. Therefore, he who rejects this does not reject man, but Elohim, who also gives us his set-apart spirit. Yah has established the realms of that which is clean and unclean, that which is set apart and that which is common. And he has told us that to partake of animal life, sea life, things that creep on the ground, that he has declared and called by his command to be unclean, makes you and I unclean. It makes me unclean if I do this. It's simple as that. How does the set-apart spirit dwell in a vessel who intentionally seeks to be unclean? There's a problem. If we go to Leviticus 11 and go over to verse 44 to the end of the chapter, verse 47, we read this. For I am Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall set yourselves apart, and you shall be set apart, for I am set apart. And do not defile yourselves with any swarming creature, the one creeping on the earth. For I am Yahweh who is bringing you up out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be your Elohim, and you shall be set apart, for I am set apart. He's saying that twice. This is the Torah of the beasts and of the birds and every living being, the creeping creature in the waters, and of every being that swarms the earth, to make distinction between the unclean and the clean, and between the living creature that is eaten and the living creature that is not eaten. It's as simple as that. Yah said no, and to certain ones he said this is permitted. I can say yes. We need to agree with him. Shabbat shalom to all of you. May the presence of the King abide with you during this day. May you learn of him, be filled with his light and glory. And remember to pray for those who are still held hostage, dead and alive, in the land of Gaza, that Yah may free them and bring them home. Until next week, shalom. Shabbat shalom.